Well, welcome everybody to today's Tech Talk, SOC Modernization, how automation and Splunk SOAR are shaping the next-gen security team. So quick introductions. My name is Nick Hunter. I'm the Principal Product Marketing Manager here at Splunk. I'm responsible for our cybersecurity portfolio, specifically SOAR. With me in our talent today is Mike Wilmington. He is Principal Product Manager of SOAR at Splunk. Mike, would you like to introduce yourself?
Nope, you did a great job. Looking forward to presenting to you guys today and the follow-ups afterwards. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Mike. So our agenda today, we're going to start with what it looks like for a SOC currently without automation. And then I'll kind of go over a traditional SOC team to introduce you as part of the set up the stage for the demo. And then we're going to jump into why everybody's here is the exciting technical demo that Mike will be performing. Then after some next steps, some exciting stuff that's coming up and resources that you use based on the talk and webinar and the demo that we do today. And then we'll open it up for question and answer. So in the most recent SANS 2024 SOC survey, the top facing challenges in security operations, the respondents were a mix of technical and managerial SOC analysts and SOC managers and directors. What you'll see here is part of this, their response is when we asked them what was their biggest barrier in the SOC currently, number one is the single highest answer was lack of automation and orchestration. And that fits right into the topic that we're talking today, which is SOAR. But interesting enough, if you take a look at the next two answers, which are directly related, high staffing requirements and lack of skilled staff, both of these are a direct result of the first barrier, which is that lack of automation and orchestration. And even more interesting, if you take a look outside of that, the very last one, the third issue commonly cited is lack of enterprise-wide visibility. Well, not only does SOAR address the lack of automation and orchestration, and also offset the staffing requirements and lack of skilled staff, but also you're going to see as part of this demo the enterprise-wide visibility, and that's really, really important because once you get your staff and the automation in place, the next barrier to a successful SOC strategy is making sure you have that complete visibility from end to endpoint. Edge to endpoint. So we're going to see in the demo today how Splunk SOAR can help with that. So continuation of that survey, today's SOC has become a complex mix of point products, many of which don't play nicely with other tools in your security stack. The complexity results in security analysts spending an average of 3 hours on each investigation, often juggling more than 6 product interfaces. So that's crazy from this survey. Crazy stats. I used to work in a SOC. I worked in a SOC for 7 years. Our handling times and our performance metrics were 20 minutes, and that was almost 15 years ago. After 10 years, I'd say after about 3 or 4 years, we actually reduced that down to 10. So a handling time of 3 hours on average for an investigation is crazy. What this also further evidenced by is 64% of SOC teams, as you see here, express frustration with constantly switching between security tools. Furthermore, 89% of the organizations impacted by a security skills shortage, lacking the professionals to manage their environment solution tools. This chaos often led to operational efficiency issues and leaves organizations vulnerable to excessive dwell times and significant attacks. So if you haven't read this, the SANS SOC survey is absolutely a fantastic read, and I strongly encourage it. So as part of the demo today, we have a number of actors. Paul will be the Director of Security Operations that need visibility into the overall security posture across all of the security operations teams. But they also must ensure alignment and coordination with C-level executives, as well as leaders across the NetOps and ITOps organization. His responsibility is to demonstrate compliance with the organization's acceptable risk governance and return on security investments. Next, we have Tom. He's the Senior Manager of Security Engineering. He reports to Paul and is constantly combating the cybersecurity talent shortage that he faces, as well as demonstrating that success to his leadership on incident investigation and remediation performance. This includes adversarial dwell times, MTTD, or mean time to detect, and MTTR, mean time to remediate or remedy. Tom's major challenge as a senior manager is to gain visibility across the SecOps performance while retaining the best talent versus competition and expertise shortages. And lastly, establish security operations processes that are repeatable and measurable. Finally, well, the last two, Shelby is an analyst that has way too many alerts to triage and not enough time to investigate them thoroughly. She and her team struggle to complete investigations within the acceptable handling times, but they often find themselves way too mired in manual ad hoc investigations, constantly pivoting across multiple interfaces and solutions. And lastly, Stefan, our IT ops manager and engineer. His configuration and integration of all the security solutions, as well as network solutions, IT ops solutions, and all the tools in between. His team is constantly overwhelmed and severely lacking in expertise. And every tool and solution needs to be integrated, and that's a challenge. And in many SOCs, there's not just a team; it's usually one or two people. So you can imagine the burden that Stefan encounters. So traditionally, we would jump right into the demo, but while I have your attention, we've got some quick poll questions to ask. How much time does your team typically spend investigating and validating a high priority security incident? So 30 minutes to an hour. That's much less than what we saw from the SAM survey, but that definitely resonates pretty broadly across this audience. All right, next question. Which challenges impact your SOC or team's ability to scale effectively? All right, let's take a look at what we got. Thank you for those responses. So, and I believe this was a multiple choice. So manual investigation triage process, not surprising at all, because when I worked in the SOC, that was number one as well. Alert fatigue and too many false positives, lack of centralized playbooks and workflows, and that's why we're here today. Difficulty in retraining, yeah, so it's a pretty heavy at the beginning, but certainly spread across all the options. And the last question. How confident are you that your team responds consistently and according to frameworks like NIST cybersecurity frameworks when responding to critical security incidents? So let's see. Number one, somewhat confident, depends on the analyst. Yep, that's the answer I expected. Not very confident. Our response is mostly ad hoc. Very confident. That's good. I'm glad to see that 14%, definitely very confident. Not confident at all, but okay. I like these results. All right, you've earned it. It's demo time. So I'm going to hand off to Mike now.
Okay. Thanks to Nick. And hello, everybody. Let me share my screen real quick. Tom is the administrator for the SOC, and he just successfully updated enterprise security to version 8 and also updated his SOAR environment. He's excited to see how much he can improve the experience and performance of the analysts on the team with a fully integrated threat detection and incident response, or TDIR, platform. The ability to get the best of both worlds without having to context switch during a workflow or investigation is really appealing. The first thing he needs to do is get his ES8 and SOAR environments paired together. So let's jump in to watch. First, he needs to log into his ES environment and go to Mission Control. From Mission Control, he's going to select Configure and then select Splunk SOAR. Here, he's going to click on Start Pairing. He's going to enter the URL. The username. And checking the password. Now he's going to click Next. He's going to select the admin to the administrator and finish pairing. And we've successfully paired. Shelby is the senior analyst in the SOC and wants to get to work and kick the tires on this new environment. Like most security employees, she's not convinced of all the hype, but if it does half of what was promised, she can spend more time on the fun parts of her job and less time context switching and executing repetitive tasks. Shelby starts in mission control and immediately sees the analyst queue. Everything seems to be customizable, but it appears by default it's focused on prioritization. Type, entity, risk scores, time, urgency, and status. Seems like most of what's needed is already here. She starts by drilling into a potential compromise of one of the public-facing websites. Let's look for something in the last 7 days, filtering on time. She looks over and sees one that she really wants to focus on. Let's jump into the intermediate findings and see what's going on. Findings here are neatly lined out on a timeline, allowing us to expand any one of them for more details. This anomalous network activity, followed by possible exploitation, followed by possible command and control traffic, this seems pretty bad. This data is coming from multiple sources like the Apache logs and Magneto data. Shelby wants to dig in more and selects the entity. The side panel opens, and you can see the assignment fields for operational needs, but below, we can also see some initial enrichment. Who is on the other end, details about the assets, and analysts can deep dive into and search to understand why it fired, and they can even see notes from other analysts. Based on everything she's seen so far, she decides to increase the urgency to high, set the ownership to herself, and open an investigation and adding a note that says she is investigating. She starts an investigation, and the investigation view opens. Here you can see tabs for overview, response, events, search, automation, and intelligence. Let's look at the overview first. Immediately see the MITRE attack map, which helps to easily understand the observed activities. There's also a timeline from the triage view, and below that, analysts can gain even deeper perspectives on the context. Let's go look at response plans. So here you can see there was no response plan automatically assigned for this type of event, but you can actually set default response templates for each investigation type if you want. Response plans allow organizations to incorporate standard operating procedures from external tools directly into the analyst workflow. There are many response templates available out of the box, and she read that she can create her own custom ones too. Here, an analyst can add a new response template to this finding and enable them to work through an investigation in a structured manner. We can also have response plans automatically linked to the detection. Let's start with a findings response. Within the response plan, there is a plain language description explaining what analysts need to do. This approach will help uplift junior analysts by providing them with standard operating procedures, eliminating the need to copy and paste, and equipping them with the tools necessary to perform the investigation. Shelby already clicked Start and already had the detection assigned to her. It is possible to use pre-built searches that can be executed without using search processing language or SPL expertise. Automation playbooks and actions can also be included, allowing you to handle some of the more complex tasks. By running this predefined search, Shelby is taken to the Search tab within the interface and shown all of the individual risk events that are attributed to this incident. If we look at one of these interesting fields, we can click on it and get more information. Inside there, she sees that there's one of the values is cosmic sting. Knowing that the detection for the cosmic sting attack is important, Shelby goes back to the response plan to move forward. Once she has gathered more information, she can include it in some case notes. She saves her case notes, closes the detection, and then is able to move on to the next phase. Having completed the initial triage and determined it's an incident worth further investigation, she proceeds to the next phase, which is to review the IOCs. But what if she wants something different? She can add a task here as a one-off, or she can edit the template for all similar investigations. For this investigation, there are some indicators of compromise known as threat objects in ES. She can review them in the Intelligence tab. There's also an option to use Splunk Attack Analyzer to conduct a deep analysis. In addition, Cisco Talos can be used to integrate in the security workflows. If the indicators are malicious, she might choose to block or quarantine them. With Splunk Threat Intelligence Management, analysts can consolidate and calculate an adjusted score based on multiple threat intel feeds. Here, Shelby can see the threat objects, a file hash, our internal host, and a couple of URLs. Let's click on the file hash first. Two of our threat intel fields mark this as a high score threat object. Below that, though, we see a URL IP, and the internet bad guys addresses. They don't have any information. She'd like to know more about that, but let's note these addresses for later. Let's go back to the Response tab and see what we can do. Back on the Response tab, there's a built-in action to send this URL to Splunk Attack Analyzer connector for Splunk SOAR. All we have to do is paste in the URL, click Run Action, and Splunk Attack Analyzer has run successfully. The other thing we can do is check the URL reputation with Cisco Talos Intelligence. Let's input the bad guy's URL here. Oh, that's completed as well. Along with being able to use SAA, Shelby can also leverage this Cisco Talos Intelligence to be able to get more threat intel on and enrich the incident. Let's see what she found by going to the Automation tab. We can see that the job ran successfully in SAA, and she can take this job ID, copy it, and run an action. We'll go and find Splunk Attack Analyzer connector, get job summary, paste the job ID, and run the action. Awesome. So we can see that SAA has deemed this particular URL to be malware with a confidence score of 100. This is something else she should take action on. Now let's review what Talos found. You can see here that not only did it run, but it's determined that the internetbadguys.com was untrusted and malware. Moving forward, she can take both of those addresses and block them in the web proxy server Zscaler. All she has to do is run an action, find Zscaler, block URL, and then input both of those bad addresses. So she starts with the IP address, she clicks on plus, adds the other URL for our friend internetbadguys.com, and then runs the action. We see that both were successfully blocked. And so we found something bad, blocked it on the proxy, and now it's time to update this phase of the investigation accordingly. Now let's go back to the response and update the notes. So you can see we ran both of our actions. We're going to update the notes here and just basically indicate that both of those URLs were malware and that we blocked them on the proxy Zscaler. Going to save it, close it, and now we're going to move to the final phase of the investigation, the render verdict. In this phase, there's a playbook available. That will both lock the system owner account and quarantine the endpoint. The playbook is configured to prompt users to authorize certain high-impact items. By clicking here on the notified, let's go ahead and get this kicked off. This playbook will actually create a notification and a prompt that if we go up to the prompt up here, when it gets to there, there it is. Now we have an unanswered prompt we need to answer. We're going to click View Prompt. And now it's going to ask us the question about, do we want to lock the system owner account? And that's yes. And do we want to quarantine the endpoint? And also yes. Now here, we could actually delegate this to another person if we don't have the rights. But in this case, we do, and we're just going to go ahead and submit. Okay, so the prompt was successful, and now we've completed. And here in the notes, an automatic generated thing that shows successfully disabled the user, and we quarantined succeeded. So this was done in the playbook. So looking at the results of the playbook, Shelby has now successfully worked with 5 or 6 different platforms to investigate and remediate this issue, all from one interface. Notice how the entire process took a very short amount of time. Think about how long that would have taken pivoting across those multiple tools to achieve the same thing. Now let's head over to the Automation tab and see what we've been doing. And here you can see that the Automation tab can be used to view all the actions that Shelby has taken during the incident response. And in this one, we can actually go in and look at the playbook that we ran to do the auto containment. So we click auto containment, and now we can actually see the SOAR playbook that was run to make this all possible. From here, she can go through each one of the phases, take a look at the different actions, edit these, modify them however she wants. And Splunk has provided the development platform that allows for even Python development for ultimate flexibility. But the goal is to not have to use it being more of a low code than ever before. Let's go back to the ES tab. Let's go back to response. And from here, we can actually close this final piece, put on our notes, and close out the investigation.
So what as part of that demo, what you saw today was how it's seamlessly unified the security stack, ensuring contextually rich risk and threat indicators are pre-correlated, normalized, and easily understandable. You saw that how automation frees up time to focus on training, threat research, decision-making, and innovation that can drive high-value business outcomes. And lastly, we witnessed the orchestrated workflows that work across SecOps, NetOps, IT ops, and how they all coordinate seamlessly to help keep the organization secure. Splunk SOAR is designed to orchestrate your security operations seamlessly. It connects with over 300 third-party integrations and supports over 2,800 automated actions. It ensures you can transform complex workflows into guided intelligent playbooks and automated response activities that drive across solutions. You saw the intuitive app editor. Splunk SOAR empowers you with the editor to develop custom applications tailored to your specific use cases. It's very customizable. The main dashboard offers comprehensive views of your SOC's efficiency and allows you to track crucial metrics and optimize your decision-making process. So next steps are the resources. So as I promised, give me 1 second here. So we've got, hold on, quick, here we go. Sorry about that. So let's continue the conversation of SOC modernization. So we've got a couple of great blogs on the Splunk website. We've got Splunk SOAR Evolved, and we got Introduction to Wayfinder. So this helps really simplify the navigation across Splunk SOAR. It's a brand new feature that just came out this past year. If you've used Splunk SOAR in the past, or maybe Phantom when it was Phantom, this Wayfinder makes it so much easier to navigate through Splunk SOAR. We also have a great ebook that was just published. We've also got a product tour, which is the Splunk SOAR guided product tour. And that's a really nice interactive product tour that we put together for you. And then we've also got some more security tech talks coming up. So you can see those on our Splunk community page. Now we can jump into the question and answer. So Mike, let's see, I'm going to pick out some of these great ones here. Mike, can you explain how SOAR can help us with consistency across incident response workflows, specifically for a large, mature SOC team?
Yeah, thanks. Great question. As you saw in the demo, using the response plans, those pre-formatted and already organized workflows will help your analyst be able to methodically go through the entire investigation, automation, orchestration, and response plans, and be able to not only just follow the existing plans, but they can actually add things, modify them as they go, and make them more efficient. The benefit of bringing these, bringing SIEM and SOAR, so Splunk ES and Splunk SOAR together, is that you have a great way to automate and reduce all of the time that you would normally take with these mundane or having to switch different tabs to or different tasks to different applications. It brings it all into one place, so you can do it from one console and see the results and be able to do everything you need to right there. And even if you don't, even if you have to reach out to somebody like IT ops for something, we have the ability to send out external prompts to people who are not even SOAR users now, and get them to respond back so that you don't break down the workflow and don't waste any time in these incident response type environments.
Asama Hana wants to know, how are incidents and case management managed in SOAR? Are they in SOAR or are they in ES?
So the security case management, and that's, by the way, that's a great question, Osama, and I'll probably expand on it a little bit after this, because that's a pretty big question. But ES now has the security case management. So when we went to ES 8, and as part of this overall new TDR/IR platform, we moved what we called Mission Control, which was a security case management tool, into ES. So now you will be able to do your case management operations in ES. But because you have that integrated, that first step that we showed where we paired SOAR and ES together, logically you have one platform now. Yes, you can still go and manage your playbooks. You can still create new ones, edit, and add assets and external apps and connectors on both sides. But you're now operating from one console to be able to do those case management on both sides.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Looks like Lee Lu, thank you for rejoining. I don't know if you heard, but when we send out the recording, all of the blurriness is going to go away. I promise you. You're not going to need new glasses or a new prescription. It's just sometimes the platform, when we upload these videos, they get the resolution isn't optimal. So I promise when we send out the video after this, those recordings will not be blurry. Anon V wants to know, is mission control available for Indian customers?
That is a great question. I believe so. Like to understand your question a little bit better, so I might reach out. But we do have presence on AWS in India, so absolutely have that capability for Indian customers. And if you're asking about whether or not we have it in native languages, I'm going to have to get back to you on that.
Osama has a follow-up question. Where does SOAR data where's the SOAR data stored? Is it in Splunk indexers or somewhere else?
So there are a couple of different parts to the data. SOAR data can be stored. So the results of the events and things like that are stored in the SOAR container. Those are actually kept on the SOAR, but you can actually, depending on your ingest and your data strategy, you can either keep those in SOAR, or you can actually take those over to your Splunk enterprise platform as well. So that's a pretty complicated one, but most of the with the ES and SOAR combined, we'd have to address that question pretty specifically for your use case. So let's follow up on that.
All right, we got a really good one here. So this is from Mahai Groza. How can we automatically trigger playbooks whenever a response plan is attached to an investigation? Specifically, we want to automate situations where data enrichment playbooks run immediately to provide SOC analysts with enhanced information for decision-making, eliminating the need to manually execute these playbooks. What is the best approach for achieving this?
So great question, Mihai. We could absolutely do that, and we have the configuration ability to either you can either do playbooks in your SOAR configuration. You can actually set up the playbooks to trigger directly off of either findings or any type of data input. You can set that up. The other piece is you can now with ES, you can also show those response plans. Those response plans can also trigger off of specific types of events that come into ES. And that way, when you see that, when the analyst goes in and is triaging, you'll have that response plan set up directly for that. So, and when you combine those two together, you can actually have that full automation to where now you don't have to have the analyst doing that enrichment. The stuff will be automatically enriched for them, and they can just walk through that response plan inside. Great question, and would love to follow up and do a demo for you on how to configure those things.
Carl Bahor would like to know, is SOAR and ES able to be paired and integrated fully in on-prem environments?
Awesome question, Carl. Today, not yet is the right answer. We're only supporting cloud ES to cloud SOAR for the full pairing. The next step is going to be pairing on-prem ES to on-prem SOAR. And then a little bit further down the road, and that, by the way, that's coming pretty soon. And then further on down the road, we're looking at, and we'd love to get your feedback on if there's ever, scenarios where you would want like a hybrid where you have, say, ES in cloud and SOAR on-prem. So we'd love to get your feedback on that one. But today, no, not yet, but it will be coming soon.
All right. Asama had another question. How do you generate executive reports, dashboards for cases, incidents, SLAs, etc. in those KPIs?
So reporting is a native function in there, and would love to do a demo for you and show you that. But that's also included in there. There's even ways to do reporting, create reporting for within the playbooks, and then dashboards you can set up and you can configure both on the ES side as well as on the SOAR side, depending on what you're trying to dashboard and what type of things you're looking for. But definitely reach out to your Splunk representative if you want a demo of that.
A few more questions, specifically from Anand. He wanted to know the compatibility of Taxi 2.0 in Splunk. It's currently supported up to 1.1 in Splunk ES, and the use case being that it automates blocking an EDR from threat feeds available from Taxi 2.0 feeds.
Great question, Anand. I don't have that information with me right now, so I'm going to have to take that and follow up at a later time. I will tell you that we do have several different platforms in for EDR detection and EDR blocking within SOAR. I'm just not sure about and not familiar with the Taxi 1.1 and Taxi 2.0.
That's any more questions? I think we've got them all answered that came in so far. Happy to take some more questions. We have some more time left. Here's one. What are the biggest bottlenecks a SOAR helps eliminate in the incident response process?
So the biggest bottlenecks that SOAR helps with, and there's a lot of them, but I'd say that the biggest bottlenecks is doing the enrichment investigations, as well as being able to use the orchestration and automation of SOAR to reduce the amount of alerting, false positives, things like that. So the great thing about SOAR is that you can literally automate anything, and the logic you can put in there, and with prompting, you can keep humans in the loop. So I'd say like the biggest bottlenecks are really just repetitive tasks that keep SOC analysts from being able to do like the higher level or the more interesting type of investigations. So like the mundane phishing type things, the being able to get reputations, whether that's on domain or IP or URL. Those are the things that I think automation and SOAR really helps eliminate all those kind of very mundane, repetitive tasks.
Someone would like to know, is there any AI-powered features in ES and SOAR?
So on ES8, actually for both ES8 and SOAR, those are coming soon. I don't really have an ETA for you, but if you would like to reach out to one of us, we can do a roadmap presentation and give you a better idea. But yes, those are both coming in ES8 and in SOAR.
All right. Well, got one more question. Josh Johnson, is there any ETA for when ES8 will be available for government cloud?
Ooh, that is a great question. Unfortunately, I'm only the product manager for SOAR, so I don't have that date. But we will take that back and get back to you, Joshua.
I think that's the last of our questions. I'll give a couple seconds and see if any more pop in. All right. So we can continue this conversation on community.splunk.com. So we have a search functionality that allow you to search the Splunk enterprise to view or share best practices. There's also a forum for discussions specific to the Tech Talks section, Tech Talk section for the platform. And then you can also vote on ideas. So these are like roadmap features and functionality, and also to be able to request enhancements to some of this to our Splunk solutions. And I did see, I'll take one more question here because I see it coming. Osama, last question. ES, SOAR, and mission control for on-prem. When does that come?
It is coming soon. We don't have a published date for that, but unfortunately, all I can tell you right now is that is coming very, very soon.
We also have Splunk community office hours, where Splunk technical experts answer your questions, provide live how-to guidance on various topics. So I'll leave this barcode up if you want to register. Make sure you check out our upcoming observability office hour sessions and register. So I'll leave the barcode up so you can take a snap with your phone. You can also on Slack join us. # office_hours. And there's also a shortened URL available. 3, 2, 1. All right. And finally, we have a workshop very much related to this SOAR Tech Talk today. Automation for the SOC of the future. It is on April 10th at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So you'll be able to get a firsthand experience with Splunk SOAR and discover how it can accelerate your journey with Splunk Enterprise Security to unify and automate threat detection and investigation in response. TDIR is the acronym at machine speed. And then a reminder, as our annual conference is coming up, start registering. Make sure you attend .conf 25. It's September 8th through 11th. This year. So if you haven't been, it gives you an opportunity to connect with thousands of Splunk users just like yourself. Or if you're not a Splunk user, you can connect with the ones that are, and you can ask plenty of questions and network and do some deep dive in some technical content. So you'll get some hands-on and impress your boss with some new skills. And then you'll also get some real life examples of how others are using Splunk to avoid disruptions and downtime. And thank you for sticking around, and apologize again for the blur, but we'll get that remediated in our recording that we send out. And I appreciate everybody sticking around. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great rest of the week for you now. Bye for now.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate your attendance.